Nexxlegacy.
Oh, we just getting started, people. We are definitely just getting started. Your man Brandon in the building on this edition of Ground Under. Glad everybody, not just from the States but overseas, all you people checking us out, y'all can continue to spread the love and continue to show support and continue to do it the Nexxlegacy way, baby, by calling in 347-215-8653. Want to thank Amy Miller for calling in, blessing us with a couple of her tracks and her movement. And you know who I got next. You know, this guy, and I was just literally on, offline talking to this guy just for a second and just letting him know, man, this dude's been like a hero of mine when it comes to just his grind and overall hustle and everything that he's accomplished in his career, and his career continues to keep on shining, keep on going. We got Mr. Mario Van Peebles in the building tonight on Ground Under. What's up, sir?
Hey, brother. Good to be here, man. Good to be on.
Man, it's just like I told you, man. Man, you've been a major influential hero to me because of everything that you've accomplished, and your grind continues to still be relentless, man. I mean, how's everything going on your end?
It's actually, I'm really blessed, man. I always say you have three loves in your life. Do what you love, be in the business of what you love. If you can, work with people you love, and absolutely get to a place where you can say what you love, and through your work, leave something you love behind. And I've been able to do that. I broke in as a filmmaker with New Jack City, and we had some good timing with that. But my granddad always said, "Luck is preparation meets opportunity." So you try to be prepared, and then lucky enough to get that opportunity, and then prepare to give other people that opportunity. So, from New Jack City to New Jerk City with this new thing I got going called We the Party. I just did this picture, man, called We the Party, and basically it's a historical first that we have a generation of young folks coming of age for the first time in America during a black presidency. Now, you think back 20 years, people were coming of an age when we had the Huxtables on TV, and they were saying,
right.
"Oh, that's not realistic. You can't have a black doctor and a black lawyer, and they're married, and they got these kids." Well, we got the Huxtables in the White House now, so it's one thing to grow up with the Huxtables on
right.
TV. It's another thing to grow up with the Obamas in the White House. And this new generation, trust me, man, I got 4 teenagers, has a whole new swag, a whole new possibility. And they're not just dealing with the gangster rap stuff that some of us saw. You got great groups like, the New Boys and the Rejects, and especially like with what the Rejects did and with Cat Daddy, which I love, is
right.
almost like what Funk Parliament did to R&B, the Rejects are doing to hip-hop. So it's not just being the angry brother with the flak vest on and the machine gun or something like that, with that
right.
pose. We know we're very familiar with that. But, turning it up on the humor level, and and having enough confidence to have humor about your stuff, and I love that, having enough confidence now to be a little bit, smart, say something like a Lupe Fiasco, or, some of these cats that are actually putting out work. I love Lupe's thing, dumb it down, So what I did with We the Party, like back to what I was saying with New Jack City, is we have a lot of these artists who are doing this music from, YG to Pink Dollars with the Girl Power, to the New Boys, to the Rejects, to even Brother Snoop Dogg, who's in the movie. Michael Jai White is in the movie. Sally Richardson. And Cat Daddy 2.0 is the first video. If you go on YouTube and you look up Cat Daddy 2.0, you'll see the true story of how it's kind of a mini movie of how I met the Rejects in the audition, and I didn't know who these jokers were, man. They came in there with their craziness, and by the end of the audition, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And then they performed Cat Daddy, and I was like, oh, yeah, they got to be in the movie. And if you look at Cat Daddy, you see that story. So that's what I'm doing right now. I just did that, and then I directed the movie with 50 Cent where he loses all the weight, the first movie where he, 50 doesn't carry a gun. And that was really a trip because my intent was just to go in there as an actor, and then 50 asked me to direct it. And he lost 50 pounds for this movie. I started calling him 25 Cent. But, what I've been lucky enough to do is, it's like, I remember when I did New Jack City and they asked me, they had me and Singleton and Spike and, Matty Rich and, Hudlin Brothers all on the cover of the New York Times. And they said, what's it like to be a part of the black wave of directors? And I said, well, you know, you have to understand the nature of a wave is to gain momentum and crash on the beach. Right. So you have to know how to stay on your surfboard. And all these years to know how to stay on your surfboard. And you know, as my dad said, we as a people, we're taught to play basketball, but very rarely do we learn how to own the team. And that's the trick. You know, learn how to enjoy what you do, but learn how to be the boss at it. Learn how not to just be on the radio station, not just to be in the movie, own the movie, not just to be in the building, own the building. And then you can give other people the opportunity. And I think we're at a special time right now where, you know, the globe's, you know, we're spinning very quickly, and we're seeing that it's not, you know, we have a limited amount of time to get it together, not only with each other, you know, but with Mother Nature, where we go, okay, we got a lot to do. So there's a lot that we need to do, and it's a very challenging time, but it's an exciting time. And if each one of us brings a little light, I think collectively we bring the dawn. You know, so part of what I try to do is bring that dawn in my work. Say, let me make something that's not just entertaining. Let me make something that's edutainment.
Exactly. One thing that caught my eye about the Rejects was the fact that, and you kind of touched on it too. You said a lot of it is they come in with a different vibe, a different type of mentality. And to me, I think that's big, but also the thing that's really big to me is the simple fact that it's their brand, it's what they do, it's what they believe in, it's what they want to give to this world and this society, and this is how they want to leave a legacy by doing it their way with their own creativity, their own creative mind, and being able to do it and say, hey, you know what, at the end of it all, I'm able to do it and feel great about it. And that was one thing that caught my attention about the Rejects when I was taking a look at everything you guys got coming up and stuff like that. And, you know, my thing is, I got to appreciate you for even, you know, giving them that opportunity, because you know how it is, Mario. Some people, you know, okay, well, I like this, but maybe if you change this up, or, you know, if you go a little bit more edgier with this, or, you know, they try to mix it up somewhat. But, you know, I just felt a lot of the creative juices kind of flowing through them all. So, you know, props on you guys.
Well, you know, and that's the thing is a filmmaker. It's almost, to some degree, there's a dynamic there that reminds me of being a parent. And that, you know, as a parent, you can't turn to one child and say, okay, you're going to be my lawyer, you're going to be my artist, you know, you're going to be my attorney or my businessman. Your children will tell you who they're going to be, and then you, if you got it, if you understand it, will realize that your kids come through you and not from you, and you have to encourage them to be and help them be the best they can be. And then, as a way, as a filmmaker, you cast the movie, but I never made Wesley Snipes great in New Jack City.
Right.
I never made Chris Rock great, and all I did was give them the stage to dance on. You see, once my dad taught me, like I said, not just how to play basketball, but to own the team, all I did was figure out how to get that team and then pick the best players for that team and just recognize that talent. And half of being a good director, half of being a good parent is knowing when the heck to get out the way and take the credit for it. You know what I mean? I'll tell you all day long, yeah, man, I had the Rejects do this. No. I had Wesley or Chris Rock or Michael Jai White. Michael Jai White came up with an idea that was so good on We the Party, and I tell him, Michael, I love that idea. He said, I hope you don't mind. I said, brother, I got no ego on this at all. And I said, I hope you don't mind when I take credit. I'm on TV later. I'll be like, you know, I told Michael. And he said, no, I'm good. You know, so no. Once you understand it, man, it's a collective thing. And when you have folks like the Rejects that come in, and I tell you what, they inspired my own two boys. My boys woke up and said, damn, those guys got a whole swag, and they're just coming at it. They're not trying to be something. They're not being fake. They're being who they are. They're not trying to be hard or shoot nobody or sing about something. You know, I shot 5 Negroes today and poured champagne on 2 women. You know, they're not doing any of that. And so my boys started their own thing called the MVP Boys. And if you look at the song on YouTube called She's a Vegan, you'll see the influence on them where they took that humor and said, we're going to do our own thing this other way. But it inspired seeing people. Here's the trickiest thing. Here's what's really dope. You know, it's very interesting to realize. See, Mother Teresa never went to an anti-war rally, but she'd go to a pro-peace rally She'd never get behind anything negative. She'd just get behind something positive. And when you understand that, you go, the most powerful political weapon anyone ever sold us as a people was that blondes had more fun. Once they did that, we straightened our nose, we got we got our hair straightened. We tried. Well, the minute that Black Power came along, and Melvin Van Peebles and Huey Newton and Angela Davis said, "No, black is not only bad, it's fast, classy, ass kicking, and name taking too." The minute we understood our own beauty, the minute we didn't ask, "Where is the party?" but we said, "We are the party." Everybody wanted to go to the party. You see what I'm saying? So the moment you realize, "Oh, we the party," and that was part of the title. Was no, this new generation is not looking for it. We are the party. So once you realize your own beauty, it doesn't mean it's black power or brown power at the expense of white or yellow or any other power. It just means we're realizing our own beauty. So once you wake up and realize that, everyone wants to get with it. What you're seeing in the rejects, I love, is that they just come with it and say, we're going to do us. We're going to do us. Once you do us to that level, it's attractive. It's magnetic. And that's what I wanted to capture. Does that make sense?
Perfect. And people... Oh, that makes perfect sense, and people actually need to go to, I know if there's some people out there asking, like, We the Party movie, like, where can we get info? You can actually go to facebook.com/We the Party movie. Go check that out. Also, there's a Twitter, We the Party movie. You can hit that up there, and you can get any and everything as far as information. You can be able to check out all the stuff going on. You can do that right now, like literally, like right now. And to me, I think that's the cool thing, Mario, Mr. Van Peebles, about nowadays is so quick to be able to get some information, and we have to make sure that we embrace all this stuff that not only you've given us, not just over the years, but also right now. Like a lot of people probably wanted to know what's actually been up with you, so now they can be able to have it and get it. Facebook, Twitter. MySpace, and people still use that thing and everything.
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter, man. Mario Van Peebles on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter. Whatever, absolutely, man. And what I'm enjoying about this is when I did, for example, my first movie, New Jack City, it was a push business. What does that mean? Back then, you could push an artist. You could push a movie. You put money behind it. After a while, you put the artist on enough covers, enough billboards, and people say, well, I got to check that person out. Now it's a pull business, very democratic. So these kids are pulling and downloading what they want. So they're very clear about what they want. So when I was listening to my kids and they said, man, we want to listen to the New Boys, we want to listen to YG, we want to listen to Pink Dollars. All I did was take all those people, call them up literally and say, hey, I'm doing this project. Do y'all want to be down? And every one of them came through. So the New Boys came in. One of the New Boys plays my son in We the Party. And the Rejects came through. And Snoop called me up and said, okay, you owe me. I'm going to work for you for, very little money. But you got
right on.
Snoop's like the Godfather. Said, oh, God, I don't know what I owe him, but I know it's going to come one day. And then Michael Jai White, I had to be careful with Michael because he might just spin kick your ass into the next world or something. I'm very nice with Michael Jai White, So he was a real cool brother, and Sally Richardson with her fine self came in there, and it was beautiful, And then my dad, of course, had to roll through, and we had P. Diddy's son, Quincy Brown, is in it, and the Wayans son, Greg Wayans, and We the Party. And so what I did was with New Jack City, we had 3 or 4 videos, and on We the Party, we already have like 5 or 6. And so the first one that dropped, Fat Daddy 2.0, and She's a Vegan, and then the last one is going to be a whole new look from YG. I mean, from Tooted and Booted to this is something different now. He's thinking a little bit now.
Right on.
And when you see this, man, and that's a real important thing for us to see evolution and see people, okay, I may start over here, but I can take you over there. And, when you're sailing somewhere, you don't go in a direct line, you tack. And that's how you become tactful, because you know how to go left and right until you ultimately get to that North Star where you want to be. So it's a nice process. I've been real lucky that way. And what I'll do sometimes, I'll direct something like, or act in something like, The Game, or do some that I may go off and direct. Lost, I did Lost, a couple Lost, or I'll do a movie. I did a movie in Russia a while back, and then I'll go act in something. And so I'm pretty blessed to keep it going. My daddy told me early on. He said there's 4 phases in your life. There's Mario Who. Get me Mario, get me a young Mario, and Mario. So don't take any of it too seriously. Oh, seriously, man.
That's
so,
right.
You know, be cool with it, and we all want the mic. All of us, we just love having the mic, but very few of us have anything to say. You know what I mean? Like, when you ain't got nothing to say, pass the mic to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Pass it on, exactly.
Definitely, and give it to someone who can get in there and say something with it.
Exactly.
So.
Let me ask you this question. And this is, you know, we get so many emails, and a lot of people just, you know, love to hear you just spit as much game and information and everything, you know, live on the air right now. You know, I know a handful of people actually had it, you know, they wanted to know, you know, with ABC canceling the soap operas, and a lot of that's coming to an end, and, you know, so many reality shows and so many different things going on as far as, you know, the golden age of music, might as well say music, the golden age of music and television, has come and gone in a lot of people's opinion. What are your take, not just on the soap operas, but just, you know, the evolution of television and music right now?
You know, it's an interesting question, and it's a moving target. So, you know, it's one of those things we'll know more in hindsight. I mean, I can say this for sure. I think the cinematic middle class has dried up. You know, back in the day when I did New Jack and even Posse and Panther, there were three kinds of movies. There was the little art house flick, there was the, you know, the medium flick, which is what I was doing, New Jack and stuff, and then there was the huge event movie. And now there's really no cinematic middle class. It's either the huge event movie where they're throwing on the 3D glasses, or it's the art house movie. And the problem with, you know, that is that you to some degree, as a major, when you're spending a lot of money on P&A, prints and ads, you have to chase an audience. So they're very tempted to go with what they know. So what does that mean? Let me just break it down for you. What that means is it's scared money. So people are spending a lot of money on something. They say, well, we make a lot of money if this dude puts on a dress and a wig and acts like a lady. So we're going to show black folks, you know, doing that. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, having some fun. Humor is a real deal. I'm not trying to say that's not a real deal. But the problem is when you have limited representation, you're forced to become a cultural ambassador to yourself. What am I saying? I'm saying that it's okay to have your Dumb and Dumbers in black, but the problem is we don't get the Lost in Translations. We don't get the Beautiful Mind. We don't get a lot of movies where we're playing other than buffoonery, coonery. You see what I'm saying? So when it becomes reductive cinema, where all we're seeing is you know, Martin with the dress and this one with the dress, and you after a while you're like, damn, man.
Yeah, how many more guys is gonna be in dresses at the end of it all? You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? I'm fixing to go get me a dress. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, so you go into a theater, you go into to sell your movie. They go, well, you know, you could be big and heavy and be depressing, and that's real and that's precious. Or you could be big and heavy and be a dude, and that's real and that's, you know, somebody else. But with We the Party, I said no, none of that. And matter of fact, I'm gonna show us in all the ways we can be, from YG and the Pink Dollars to, you know, to Quincy's son, to the, you know, all the gradations of us, the educated us and non-educated. Not meaning smart and dumb. See, don't make that mistake. A lot of people who are not educated are very smart, and sometimes we make that mistake because we don't always get that. So
I agree.
I try to make movies that show all of us and make us think. If you make movies that make people think a little bit, like I said, make a little edutainment, then you can bring something. So it's a little tougher environment, and this is where it's really critical, and where I'm really glad that my dad, you know, frankly, kicked my butt. And when I wanted to go to school, and he said, what do you want to take? I said, well, I want to take art and film. He said, hell no. You know, you learn it on film right here. What your ass needs to do is take business and law. Well, see, I have a BA in economics from Columbia. That's how I know how to make the movie, not direct it or acted it. That's cool, but produce it. That's how I know how to put the financial side together. If I didn't know the business side of show business, I'd be shuffling around here mad like half these other people trying to put on a dress. because that's what Hollywood wants right now. Tomorrow they may say, oh, it's Negroes with pink hats making money. Then they'll chase that. And it's not necessarily a racial thing. I mean, it can be. But, you know, we know how it is. If sharks make money one day, then they'll have orca killing people. If horror movies that make money, they'll do that until they run it in the ground. But for us to not be a fad and to be something, it means the golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rule. If you don't know how to work with the business side of the game, then you're lost. And America is based on capitalism and democracy. You got to either vote or own capital, and preferably both. If you understand that, you understand business and you understand law, then when you apply that to film, you'll be okay. So all those brothers that come up to me or sisters, how do I get to be an actor? How do I want to do hair? How do I get to be a dad? I say, well, how do you get to be the boss? That's what you really need to ask.
That's right.
Because you want to end up like Quincy Jones, or you want to end up like the Fat Boys.
Yep, that's a good point. That's true. That is true. I mean, you know, and the way I see it too, and I think it. No, go ahead.
You won't survive. I'm sorry. You won't survive the slings and arrows of outrageous cinematic fortune or not. You know, whether they cut the show or they cut out the soap opera. Yeah, if all you are is acting, you're gonna be laughing now and crying later. If you understand the business. Every door that opens, there's a new opportunity gets opened, and an old one gets shut. So the way to do it is stay flexible, keep your people skills, be ready to deal with people of all colors. Don't just stay in the black box or the Jewish box or the gay box. Don't be ready to deal with everybody. And if you can do that, keep your people skills alive, and be a constant student. Don't be afraid to learn, and don't be afraid to mess up. Then you're okay, I think.
Amen to that. Ground Under, we have Mario Van Peebles in the house tonight. And one thing I want to add on, too, is I want to also add on the fact that, to me, when it comes to, you know, just the ton of reality shows and all these different things that's out there, and to elaborate a little bit more on what you was talking about, it's kind of like, you know, the director's gift that you have and the acting gift that you have and a lot of these other actors that's really putting this art form into they're trying to paint a picture, and everybody paints a different picture when they're acting or when they're doing a different thing. But bottom line is it's art. And to me, I feel like, you know, the more of an overdose we get of reality shows, it kind of lessens the fact that there's really people out there that really want to put this art form, which is television and movies, into this spotlight and leave a legacy that way. And it's hard for me to figure out, Mario. Sometimes I flip channels and I see, okay, reality show on this channel. Okay, I flip the next one, I see, okay, there's another one here and another one here and another one here. So, you know, it's too much of an overdose for me, and I want to see something with substance versus the latter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, what I call cinematic nutritional value. You know, I'll give you a case in point. You know, in We the Party, I play a teacher, right? Now, you know, I know that, you know, you got to take that and wrap it up in music, wrap it up in Breakfast Club, wrap it up in House Party, wrap it up in New Boys, and wrap it up. But if you do that, you can say something, too. It doesn't have to be that you either entertain or educate. Like I said, you can do edutainment. So I'll give you a case in point. In one scene in We the Party, I'm talking to this group of kids, and I'm a tough teacher in the class. And I said, let me ask you a question. How do you show that you're successful? How do you know you've made it? And they said, oh, easy, man. You make a lot of money. You know, you make a lot of money. You'd be a movie star. You'd be president. You got nice rims on your car. You got a big house. You throwing money in there and champagne, pouring champagne on some women. You know, you've made it. I said, okay, here's the reality. Most of you, 90% of you, will never be big movie stars, never be billionaires, never drive a Bentley, you know, and won't have that fly body forever. So the reality is if 90% of you will never obtain that which you think you need to be successful, 90% of you will be insecure. And guess what that means?
Absolutely.
Insecure people buy more products because we convince you that what makes you somebody is not who you are, not what you believe, not what you do, but what you drive.
What you have.
And what you wear,
drive,
and
what
how
you
good
have.
your body looks. So we put a trick game on your ass where we have you buying your products because your status is supplied by us. So my car, that's why I call him a car dealer. See, because I'm dealing your status. And if you buy this car from me this year, 10 years from now, it's going to be old. and you have to come back to the dealer for some new status. So we trick it. And then I flip it. I said, not only that, but we'll have you young people so confused you'll be singing the ads for our products that you don't own any stocks in for free. And one of the students said, how the hell are you going to do that? I said, turn on the radio, man. Gucci man. Got my vans on. Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. We're advertising some rich white dude stuff for free. And you're counting on him to supply your status. You know what I mean?
Right.
So once you understand, they're like, oh, wow. I said, let me ask you this. Would Malcolm be a big consumer? Did Dr. King run up credit? Would Gandhi buy some, Gucci shoes? Would Buddha join the hair club? They're like, real secure people don't need all that mess. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we break it down. When you talk about cinematic nutritional value, you can break it down in a movie like We the Party. Now, you got to do it with a balance. You don't want to do everything's about balance. If I have one glass of wine, I'm cool. 2 glasses of wine, I'm good. 3 glasses of wine, it's starting to get a little crazy now. You see? So it's all about
exactly.
And the other trick is, I think this is a big thing. It's something Cornel West said to me. He said, Hindus and Muslims knew that Gandhi loved them and would live and die for them. And African Americans knew that Dr. King loved us and that Malcolm loved us. And even though their points of view were different, we knew they loved us. We knew that Huey loved us. So when you love people, they feel the love. And when you make movies with love that say, I love you, let me bring you somewhere, then you can teach them. It's the same thing with having kids. If you don't love them, if they don't feel the love, you can't teach them anything. You got to give them the love. And so once they feel that, so when you watch We the Party or you watch Posse, you go, damn, this brother loves us. You can see the love. You can see it with and hear the truth from each character, even though those truths may be diametrically opposed.
Right.
And that's the kind of cinema that excites me, where I'm intellectually stimulated, but I go, I can feel the love, I can understand the character, and then it's an emotional, it's a total experience, not just an intellectual experience, or a cerebral one, but one where I'm emotionally on board as well.
And not only that, when you carry into a movie and the movie's over and you feel a certain way, you feel inspired, you feel. You might cry, you might laugh, you might do so many different things, and then not only that, on the flip side, if you go back and look at it again, or if you go see it, 3 or 4 times, and you still, that feeling that you felt when you first felt that way, it can never go away. Nobody can take that away from you ever.
No, and that's what they say. Knowledge. If knowledge is a power, as a brother told me this the other day. I told him I'll steal this quote because this ain't me, but I just love it. He said, if knowledge is power and it's heavy, knowledge is power and it'll set you free, but it don't weigh nothing. You can carry it with you anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so the knowledge you get from a book or an experience or a film or something that raises you up and teaches you something or provokes you to explore something, that's irreplaceable. And again, look, we're not dealing with brain surgery. I know that. But I can definitely say this. Before South Africa fell, before apartheid fell, guess what shows they were watching on TV? Because you brought TV up. You know what shows they were watching?
What was that?
They were watching Miami Vice with a black leading man and a white leading man, and they were watching The Cosby Show. So here you had black folks and white folks that were forced to sit separately watching a show where you had a good-looking brother and a good-looking white cat together working in harmony, and you had America's funniest father, not funniest black father, and that was a television reality, and that's when apartheid fell. I'm not saying it fell before that, and I can't really say that the Huxtables led directly to the Obamas, but there is a real connect, and once you look at that connect, you go, oh, wow, this is important. So what these rappers are saying, what we're saying with our movies, if we're just entertaining, if we're just making noise, if we're just talking about materialism, and then we're shortchanging ourselves a little bit. If we can take it a little step further, like I said, Brother Lupe's doing that with Dumb It Down, and some of these other cats, the Rejects, are doing that in their own way. Then you move the ball down the court, and I think that's just more exciting, man.
And to me, and as we get ready to go to the top of the hour, and one more comment and one more kind of like little thing. First off, a lot of people want to know, when is this movie actually coming out, or what's going on? Is this movie still in production stages?
Yeah. Cool. I'll tell you that. Well, the movie I did with 50, Things Fall Apart, that's going to probably be out first. And and then We the Party will probably come out, I would guess, late summer, early, when just probably late summer. But the first video, like I said, Cat Daddy 2.0, is that you can see that on World Star Hip Hop or on YouTube now. And then the other video, She's a Vegan, is on there as well. So we're going to just start dropping the videos one by one. And if they go onto the Facebook page, the We the Party Movie Facebook page, then they'll know and press like. Then we can stay in touch with them and say, this is where it's going to be playing, blah, 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 like that. And that's the whole, way we can connect up now. I mean, you look at the way, Facebook and this Twitter and all this has shaped things, including, revolutions in Egypt, because the interconnectivity of it is non-stoppable. I'm interested to see what goes down with China, because, they're still trying to kind of, you can't have free open markets very long without having free open press. And then here's the trick, you see, and here's we get back to that other thing when you say you're flipping channels. Sometimes you can get confused to thinking, well, I have freedom because I get to vote on who's America's next top idol. Or I can vote, do I want to watch the Kardashians or do I want to watch so-and-so? Well, really, that's a non-choice. See, there's a lot of non-choices. So sometimes you can get hit with a lot of misinformation or disinformation, and it's very hard to get stuff that's got nutritional value. And that's why I appreciate what you're doing in this conversation we're getting to have. Not everyone gets to hear this kind of stuff.
Oh, come on, Mario. You know what? I told you, man. This is like a, I'm like a kid. Like, I'm just soaking. I'm a sponge right now. I'm just soaking up all this game you giving me right now. I've always been an inspirational dude, so I'm like, man, I'm even more inspired right now. I'm like, man, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. I do believe. I'm with it. It's going to be very interesting to see how we take all this new technology into the future. And, our young folks are onto it. I mean, they're on the cell phones. I think 85% of our kids, black kids, have cell phones, highest out of any group. And if we take that and start to say, now, wait a minute, what's the power of that and how do we play with it? Back in the day, Malcolm said you vote with two things. You vote with your ballot, and you vote with your vote. I mean, with your vote and with your dollar. Well, now you're also voting with your download. So there's a whole new way to register, stuff and say, wait a minute, with my download, what am I watching? What am I supporting? And what you support is where it will go. We vote every day without realizing what we look at, what we're wearing, what we're doing. And we have a limited amount of time. There's my great Dr. King quote, which I always mess up, where he says, we either all learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or we perish together as fools. And I would add that we either learn to live together as brothers and sisters in harmony with nature, or perish together as fools. It's not enough now that we, black folks are okay or white folks are okay. We got to worry about Japan, dude. You got to worry about the nuclear power plant over there, because that's coming over here, or the BP oil spill over there, because what's going on in the Ninth Ward. We know we get hit first and worst with ecological disasters, so we have to wake up and try to go green, or at least go olive, or be aware of it. So, exactly.
That's
the first time I heard somebody say, "Go olive, go olive."
At least try to go olive, man. I can't get the full green going. I sent my hybrid. I got it.
No doubt.
We have a lot of learning to do. I'm always learning all the time, and that's what's exciting when you get to be in a position where you can learn and maybe teach a little something. Then that's a beautiful thing. That's the best.
And see, that's the thing that I'm hoping that our kids and our generations that will come after us will be able to get as well. Not just right now, but also like leading into futures and everything. As far as we are very, very technology driven, but at the same time, you still got to have some humility and just be able to not dumb it down, but at least get to that point where it's like, okay, well, let me, technology is fine, but I need to just go ahead and give this man a hug and tell him that I appreciate him for his contributions and things like that too. We can't be so one-sided. It's kind of like what you said earlier about, it's not about black, white, any other color, any other race, anything going on. As far as it's about how you treat that person next to you, and if you are moving towards the legacy that you creating, then you have to at least get to that point where you're like, okay, well, these are the blueprints. Then I want to go ahead and live by these. And if it's okay with you at the end of the day, and you can sleep easy knowing that you did everything you possibly can, then that's another step for you to be able to go in that right direction.
That's really true. And I go back to that parent thing, is that if you watch the natural progression of a baby, a baby first cries when it's hungry or when it's wet. When it needs something, it cries. So it's crying about stuff it needs or it feels. Now, if the baby grows naturally, it starts to go, wait a minute, now I'm crying because I'm upset my little sister got hurt or my brother got hurt. So now it's worried about its family. And it realizes, gets a little older, well, I can't be happy now if my dad has lost his job or we lost our house in the 9th Ward. So now it's worried about its extended family. And if it grows a little further, now it says, okay, I see what's happening with my people. My people are in economic bondage or whatever. So now whether it's Jewish, it cares about its Jewish people or black people or it's gay people or it's Chinese people or whatever the case may be. Now as it grows and it has kids and it sends those kids to other schools, it realizes, wow, I can't really be safe unless those other kids are cool. So if there's some Mexican student, they're going to get my kid, and the white kids ain't happy, that's going to happen. They can't elect my son to be president or my daughter to be this. So now I got to care about all races. And you go a little further, go, wait a minute, now, what's in that chicken we eating? Oh, you mean they grew that in a factory and not on a farm, and it's got all these hormones in it, and that beef we're being fed has got all this hormones and poison? Oh, now I got to care about the animal kingdom. And I got to eat organic. And I got to think about, oh, what's all that pig doing to the universe? And you got to say, well, maybe I'll get the vegetables. And then you go, okay, now I'm eating organic. Now I got to care about the mineral kingdom. And the further you go, you got to go, oh, wow, we're all connected. We're all connected.
Absolutely.
And there's no safety. If there's no safety, there's no good for us if there's not good for others. And that's the natural progression of growing up in a healthy way. And, we have to do that in our art. We have to do that in our cinema. We have to do that in our music. And we, keep kind of uplifting and bringing. And, that's part of the fun of it. That's what we do.
Exactly. And as we get ready to wrap this up, Mr. Mario Van Peebles, I got to say that, I mean, you have been like that. Like I said, when I first got word this is really going to be a reality and I get to have a chance to conversate with this man, I'm like, are you serious? Sign me up. I am definitely, I am definitely down. Just for the simple fact, let me tell you, over the years, and it just seemed like it's been many moons, as far as everything that, and I said it earlier, everything that you've accomplished and that you are going to accomplish, people like myself, not just in media, but in general, I can sit back and I can wow, you know what? This man is really doing it, and he continues to do it at a level where I can sit back and appreciate and get inspired by. And just for you giving opportunities to, some of these new cats like the Rejects and all these people out here, I mean, that's inspiration in itself because, it's very rarely do we see someone that has your education and your understanding about this business, to be able to reach out to another generation and be like, you know what, I'm not going to be around, so you know what, Rejects, go ahead and take over. Or, giving opportunities like, myself to be able to interview and tell you that I appreciate you, that goes a long way, man. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate it, not just from the bottom of my heart and the station and these people here, but also you listeners out there. You guys are getting enough game from this man because, he's an icon, and he's still able to just be able to preach and teach, and I definitely appreciate that.
Oh, each one teach one, right? And I'm learning all the time, man. So I'm lucky to be doing this, and you know what? It beats working at Walmart.
That's right. Amen to that, man. Word,
right,
I
brother,
appreciate it.
Peace out, man. Thank you for talking to me. Let's do this again.
No problem, and I'm following you on Twitter too. So definitely, let's link up and
I'll
get
follow
together,
you
man.
back. Okay, brother.
All right, appreciate it. No problem. That is Mario Van Peebles, actor, director. You know what I'm saying? This man has done it all and then some. So I definitely.
Nexxlegacy.